Hello guys, welcome to a new video on Tower of God New World, and in this video I'm going to go over the details of yesterday's update, and I'm going to focus more on the events and their exchange shops to try and tell you guys which materials are more important than others, etc., which one you should focus on based on your current situation. That's more or less the idea. I'm not going to focus on the two new units. I will make dedicated first impression videos on them, and for the character reviews that will have to wait a bit because I have to try them out a lot before I make the actual character review. But I will say that already I tried them a bit at low investment. They work totally fine, both of them. Garam doesn't shine, I would say, with Kaiser. You might want to use her with other units that are more special move dependent and maybe that also get in the middle of the fight. Kaiser is a bit outside of it, so it's a bit tricky, but she still is a super solid support. She doesn't need any dupes. She will obviously get better with more dupes, but that's the case for 99.9% of the units. So yeah, that's basically it for Garam. For Anak, I will say that she is also the same. She doesn't really need a lot of dupes. She will work really well if you have an Evancal Rainbow 5, and most new players will have it. So she works really well with her. You don't need a lot of dupes. Like, she already starts working on no dupes, green, blue, purple, whatever you have is fine. But right now we have the boost missions, so I would say you can put her in the priority list, pull some copies of her, get some one or two for free. That would be enough. So yeah, definitely good. She also gets better with Rainbow 5, but I wouldn't stress it too much. It's fine, even 3 purple, 3 red. That's already pretty good. So that's it for those units. I will make, again, dedicated videos for them. Then we have new floors, but that's not really too important. And then we got the expansion of the research lab. This is also not important for most people, and myself included, because I only have level 32. No, probably a bit more. I think I just leveled the special position, yeah, 33 and a half. But I will focus more on special position and wave controller now to try and get them to 42. The other ones are all at 32 except for Lightbearer. That's more or less what I have. So it doesn't impact me either, this level 80 cap. It was 40 before, I believe. So yeah, it's fine, whatever. Then we have the new events. The story event, pretty cool. I kind of skipped it entirely, but I will definitely look at it afterwards. And what's good about these story events is the exchange shop that we can also have a look at right now. Why did I click there? I should have clicked. Wow. I miss clicking a lot, guys. Sounds good. So let's go here in the event exchange shop. And here you will have the different materials you will get from completing the different stages, etc., etc. Now I'm going to talk about which things to prioritize in the different tabs here. So for the pink crystal, you will want to get the enhancement extracts for the exclusive equipments as probably one of the first things that you have here in the first tab, because you have a shortage of these materials early on. They are really important. So I would say get them as your first priority. The second priority from my point of view would be the books for the origin orb, unless you already completed all the first half for all the colors or for these two colors. Then you can skip them, even though you will need them for the second half sooner or later, so you might as well just stack a bit on them. But yeah, definitely these two are your next priorities after the enhancement extracts. And afterwards, I will say you don't really need the teammate grade enhancement scroll, because we don't really use SSR, like SR and R units anymore. We don't care about bringing them to SSR rank. It's just a waste of resources from my point of view. So I wouldn't bother. We're getting so many units, and we have a lot more units than we had at the beginning when we had to use those R and SR units at times. Now there is really no need to do it. Just, for me, you can ignore them. So after the books, I would totally skip these instruction manuals, really zero value. The only other thing after the books would be the loot amplification. You're not going to need them now, and I would say if you buy them, don't open them, because they are going to scale like crazy in later levels, and you will be stuck on Link XP at a certain point. That's where you will need them. At first, you won't really struggle too much with Link XP. If you want to get them, they are cheap, it's only 1k, so you can get them. And after the remaining ones, if you have spare pink gems, that's could be not the case, you could go for the Blessing Breakstone for the SSR. But this is only if you can actually afford for all of them. So I would say before buying any of these, wait a bit and see where you get once you complete the other tabs as well. So for the yellow gem, you will want to go for the extracts here of the specific colors. I wouldn't recommend them, just skip them, make no sense. These hammers as well, skip them, you will get plenty of them, doesn't matter. So here, from my point of view, your first priority would be again the books if you need for the origin orb. Right after, you go for the revolution fragment. This is 450, not a small amount. Then I would say the coins, definitely good. It's 10 boxes, which is nice for only 1k of these resources. And then same thing, you skip the teammate, and you could go for this one if you have resources to spare. This is pretty much it for the second tab. There is really not much. Now the last one is a bit trickier, I would say, because we have some very good things in here. So the gifts are really good, but they're really expensive as well. It's like what, 20k? Yeah, 20k each. Now this material is going to be the one you focus the most on. Once you finish the others, you just dump everything on this one because there is more than the other tabs. And the gifts could be good, especially if you have some of the units that need this kind of gifts. I would buy them. This is 200 of each. I would say at least buy each entry like 50 times to get 100. That will give you enough rewards, but I wouldn't do this as a first thing, because to me the ignition weapon mats here, 50 is a huge number. This is like 2.25 more or less pieces at plus 20. This is really a lot of EXP, so you definitely want to go for this as your priority one, I would say, because ignition weapons early on are more important than revolution from my point of view. Right after, this is not a bad deal. This is 10k strength crystals, but I wouldn't bother too much unless you really need them to unlock the second and third page. But even then, like, wait a bit, because these resources, you will get a shit ton of them. No need to invest, what is that, like 15,000 crystals on this. I would first go with the, first the purple ones, the purple ore for the revolution, and then the orange ones. These two are your priority. Then I would go with the crystals if you need them, afterwards the Shinsu, and then you can go with the SSR Breakstone. Don't look at what I exchanged, because I already exchanged some stuff. I just go random because I will get all of it anyway, so I don't care. And yeah, that's more or less the idea. If you are a guy that is already playing for a while, well, for sure you already know what to take, but you will also use the resources to get a shit ton of coins from these events. This is one of their main uses, and you will use a shit ton of Suspendium to get coins. That's more or less the idea. Not much to say here. One important thing is that you want to refresh the store. I would say at least do the 40 and 80 Suspendium refreshes. The 40 for sure, every free-to-play player should also do it. The 80, you can think about it, but at the end of the day is like 360 Suspendium per day to get 6 refreshes, which will get you a ton of stuff from the exchange shop. So from my point of view, it's worth to do the 40 refreshes and the 80 refreshes. All 6 of them. So yeah, that's more or less the idea for this exchange shop. Then we have the check-in, not much to say. What else? Trial mission, boost mission, boost mission. Okay, the next event is pretty much, it's pretty important. The melting forge. Now this one, if you're a new player, you won't have many things to melt, and I also have an hard time getting to the max amount of stuff to break, just because some of the things I just don't want to get rid of. But yeah, definitely you can get rid of some of these, but not at first, because you will need a lot of them to get the free suspendium for the proficiency 8 for all units. So you still have a use for this. And if you're a new player, you will probably won't benefit much from this event, to be totally honest, because a lot of gear you will need to feed to gear. You won't have spare hammers to destroy. It's going to be really tricky for a new player to get benefits out of this event. So yeah, also the report items, I would never break them. How much is this? 7,200, that's pretty cheap. Okay, whatever. So yeah, be careful what you break, because when you click the add all, okay, I didn't want to click that. If you look at the filters, by default everything is selected, and you also have gifts. You have all the enhancement extracts. I don't even know why they put them here. Maybe, I mean, I guess there are people that have it in excess for sure, but still not really a good thing. They could have defaulted to not selecting them, but whatever. Also the conquest auto clear ticket, I don't know why someone would destroy them, but okay. So there are a lot of things that you have to be aware of. Just if before you use the add all button, at least make sure to deselect all the important stuff from here. And yeah, that's pretty much it for how this event functions. But we can have a look at the exchange shop, which is going to be the most important part. Now I exchanged most of it because I broke a lot of stuff, but the most important things are going to be the 20k crystals, from my point of view, for new players. These only if you don't have the second and third page already. If you only have the first, then the 20k crystals in each are going to help quite a ton. So if you can get the 180k of these melting points, that's a good place to spend them. Second would be this Shinsu whetstone, but it's only 8, so it's not much. It's not even one item at plus 20. The 100 keys is not a bad deal, but this is also 180k, which is quite expensive. 180k for 5,000 of the orange mats, to me that's not a great deal. A random SSR for this price is okay, I will say, but it's just random, so could be a really bad one. And the coins here were an amazing deal, but it's 360,000 of the forge points, so a bit tricky. And the Shinsu here is just 15k. It's not going to be the end of the world, so I wouldn't necessarily recommend this one. So yeah, depending on your needs, I will say the Triessence facility is super important. You really want the second and third page. So to me, these are kind of a priority, especially considering how quickly new players are getting to like floor 30, 35, 40. You will need the Triessence facility. No, like you cannot do anything without it. You will need ignition weapons, so that's also the second priority from my point of view. Our revolution here is just 5k orange. Even if you don't get them, it's not the end of the world. So that's fine. Those are the three things I would focus on, I would say, in this shop. But again, I have no idea how much you can exchange, because new players won't really have a lot of stuff to break. So tricky. Okay, that's about it for the melting forge. Okay, we have the other event, which is the secret room here. And for this one, the reward to select is kind of tricky. For like the 50 revolution fragment is not a bad deal. Every floor you get 50 is quite nice, and you can get access to the revolution 5 a certain support, so it's okay. The enhancement extracts, they're so little, I wouldn't pick them. I wouldn't pick the uncommon instruction manuals either. The rare announcement hammers, no, you have plenty of stuff to level up your gear, doesn't matter. Radiant Revolution Fragment, the orange ones, I don't think is really that important. 100 per floor is not much, so I would rather get the green ones. Then we have these 50 data shards. Could be somewhat okay if you want to progress the research lab, but not the end of the world. I wouldn't worry about them. Then we have the usual Link XP, Coin, and Shinsu amplification. These ones, I don't know. I would avoid Shinsu in general because you really get too little from the AFK loot. Coins are not really, again, a major source. You're not getting most of them from the loot XP, so these packs are going to be pretty weak. And for the Link XP, I will say it's okay, but early on you won't struggle with Link XP. Is more for people that have really high links and will have issues with Link XP, at which point you can select that. For normal summon tickets, I don't know, this is like 600 suspendium, every floor could be okay. I would say most new players would have to pick between this one and probably this one. These two options are going to be the best ones for early on. I would go with Revolution Fragments, but I don't know, both are okay. While I'm at it, let me just do auto search. And unfortunately, no luck, but it's okay. So yeah, that's it for the secret room. Then we have the L Train Arena. Again, for this one, don't bother too much about trying to compete here because it's really, really tricky. Okay, someone already brought me down. Damn it, I hate to push adventure when there is this event in. I have too little power with the ignition weapons messed up, but it's okay. So I cannot go back to the carriage to talk about the other rewards. Okay, there are already a lot of people in the islands already. Okay, not 500 yet. So when you get to 10,000 points, you will get to the Hell Train Arena. You can never go back to the train, so you don't have to be worried about getting like a downgrade or anything. And then from the station, you can then challenge these named area people and try to get the spots. I'm not going to go over in detail how this event works. If you're interested in it, let me know. I will maybe make a video about it. But for now, I'm not going to talk about this. Then we have the Alliance Expedition Season 11. Again, nothing much, an event for alliances. You're probably already used to it because we had one last month. Then we have the boss battle. We always have one when there is a story event 1 week after the update. So no surprises here. This guy is going to be a pain in the ass, pretty sure, but we'll see. And then we have the loot bonus time starting from the 24th. Pretty cool. Then what we have here, we have the new bundles. So we have a special summon and some new products to purchase. I'm not sure this was a great idea from their, like, for me it's fine because most players that are kind of whales and have a lot of units can definitely benefit from this kind of banner. It's just a cheaper way to max out a SSR Plus unit. For free-to-play players or just players that were aiming to get dupes of another unit, this is not really the best. Like, if the unit in the special summon is not a DPS, is a bit of a bummer for a new player or a free-to-play player because they might be building a DPS unit and they might want to get the free copies from the boost mission, which they cannot do anymore because now they are tied to this new special summon banner. But it's okay. Then let's see, we have some miscellaneous stuff here. They improved the L Train Arena because at first it was a nightmare. Now they did a good thing here with 4 wins out of 5 battles. That's good. And also the fact that you can change formation is interesting. And well, okay, for the named area, that's more or less the same. And they also limited the amount of positions you can challenge. Like, I cannot challenge someone in the hundreds. If I'm 160, I can only challenge up to. I hate that this is so laggy. until it stops moving. I can only challenge up until 144. So yeah, that's a good thing. It prevents people from the last position to just challenge the first guy randomly. So that's a good thing. They also removed some Urek and Datamashini combinations in only these stages. So not many, but okay, I guess better than nothing. They improved the clear rewards for a lot of different stages. And this one was only for the first ones actually, but we all got it retroactively, which is a good thing. And they also increased in general coins and EXP for clearing stages, for like starting from stage 6-9, pretty good. I think this increase was like I got 280 million coins, which is extremely useful for me. So I'm guessing they did quite a massive increase. I don't even recall though what the previous amount was. I don't know. Loot coin amplification increased from 19.3 to 39.60. This is more or less the same thing that happens with Link XP from 30 to 34-ish, something like that. So this is a good increase, and also I noticed in the AFK loot the increase is pretty nice, so it's okay. Could have been better, but they're probably slowly increasing it. This one is the usual. Every 10th floor we have an increment in Revolution Fragments, Radiant, and Ores in the weekly and monthly. That's pretty standard. Now here they did a weird thing. They like reworked the new regular first mission 1 and new regulars first mission 2, but they only applied this change to people that created an account after July 3rd. This is really, from my point of view, a really bad decision. I don't like the things they're making with like creating this kind of distinction between new players and old ones, because really new players got so many benefits that a player that started like 4 months ago is way behind already. Way behind of a 3 weeks old account. This is really stupid. Shouldn't have happened. They should have just gave these rewards to everyone. So yeah, really stupid from my point of view. I don't see why. I mean, I get the idea of like pushing the new players and giving them more benefits, but you shouldn't forget the old players, because for me, I don't care if I'm not getting copies of Child and Dorsey, whatever. I don't care. But free-to-play players are really getting screwed over because they don't have a lot of resources. They didn't even have a lot of... Actually, they didn't have any SSR Plus maxed out, and they didn't get the welcome banners that could have given them a free Evankel. They just got the like non-stop banner, but the anniversary stuff. They didn't get the new player benefits, which to me makes no sense to make this kind of distinction. Just add the new system for the new players so that people are incentivized to play and start playing, but don't forget about the old ones. To me, this is really stupid and a bad decision overall. If you want to look at the details of what's been changed, like you can also click here and it will bring you to this tab where we can see the rewards that they reworked. There is the August 14 date in all of them, and you can see it's a lot of changes. So yeah, I don't really like that, but it's okay. Then what else? They increased the defense of the underground laboratory bosses and the Alliance Expedition boss. Pretty interesting. They added some stuff here in the workshop store for the Alliance. They added the extracts for this amount, for this price. Doesn't sound too good to me. This is also not that great of a deal, but I mean, I'm kind of losing hope that they're going to actually reduce the prices of this stuff, so I'm buying the one golden mat for ignition weapon and the orange mats for revolution. Then what else? They added the revolution information to the codex. That's fine. They did a very good thing finally, something that should have been in the game since day one. They did it finally. If we look at the applied stats, we can see for every single tree essence what they're giving to you as stat. So they are making the sum of all the individual pages. Finally, really, this should have been here since day one. And when you now submit a new account review request, I would ask you guys to include also this screenshot. This is really, really good. So yeah. Then what else? Okay, they made changes also to the purchase of stamina so that people didn't burn their all reserves of suspendium. Pretty good. Then what else? Okay, this one is fine. People that cleared the adventure can still see the records of the past clears that they couldn't before. So that's okay. They also made the change to a rank arena so that people cannot see the deck information of your rivals. Pretty good. And then they also changed the display information from 0 to 6 that goes up, from 6 to 6 that goes down. Whatever, fine. Some miscellaneous improvement. Let me check if there is anything worthwhile. No, I don't think so. Okay, this should be pretty much all. I probably talked too much about some different topics, but I hope that at least now for some of the exchange shops I could give you guys a bit more insight of what's actually important and what's not. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!